This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. We begin tonight with some breaking news out of Venice.
A car reportedly went off the South Jetty just a while ago. Police and rescue crews are on the scene, possibly looking for the occupants of that vehicle. We're going to go live to ABC7's Christopher Brantley, who is joining us from the scene tonight. Christopher.
Good evening, Scott and Haley. Here is what we know at this point. I'm going to step out of camera to kind of show you, give you a better idea of what happened here. Just down this way, as we zoom in, just down this way, right around here where that bench is moved, we're told a car, potentially a van, possibly with occupants in it, went into the water. They entered the water right around here, although this is closer in on the jetty itself. Now I'm going to turn the camera around here, slowly but surely here, and you'll see police boats are all the way on the other end towards the mouth of the Gulf here. They believe it is possible that the vehicle entered the water and went floating down the jetty, down there towards the Gulf. Past those signs, it opens up to the Gulf of Mexico right there. There are several police boats out there on the Gulf at this point in time. They are searching for those occupants. Now, a uniformed officer came up to me just a few minutes ago and told me that it is possible that there were people in the car at the time it went in, and several witnesses on the scene have said that, it was quite a surprise as that vehicle entered the water. So we're going to continue to gather information, but at this point we know there are potentially 7 rescuers who have entered the water to find that vehicle, to find where it has gone. But again, at this point we do know there is a potential that people could still be in that vehicle. That is why there are so many rescuers in the water at this time. We're going to continue to gather information out here and talk to witnesses and see what is happening. Back to you, Scott and Haley.
All right, Christopher, thank you so much. We'll get back to Christopher when that information becomes available. Now to the latest on one of the worst wildfire seasons in Florida in years. According to the Florida Agriculture Commissioner, there are more than 125 wildfires burning across the state right now. Just north of the Suncoast in Pasco County, classes at 3 schools canceled today because of a fire that burned some 2,300 acres over the weekend. And people living in the Jacksonville area are on fire alert due to a wildfire in South Georgia. Firefighters are working tirelessly to put those fires out. Tonight, ABC7's Dwayne Lindo shows us what they're going through during this dangerous wildfire season.
I have a bad feeling about this year. It's looking more and more like 98.
1998, the year the entire state of Florida was ravaged by wildfires.
This state has never been quite so hot and quite so dry as we now find it.
From May to July of that year, almost 500,000 acres were burned, along with more than 150 structures. According to wildfire mitigation specialist Patrick Mahoney, fire conditions are approaching the same level as 2 decades ago, with drought index levels throughout some South Florida counties to extreme danger levels.
Very center of the state, around Okeechobee, Hardy, DeSoto, Glades, that seems to be the driest area right now.
And coastal areas as well, susceptible to wildfires that destroy homes, disrupt people's lives, and impact our economy. And it's the forest rangers from the Florida Forest Service to help keep that from happening.
Our rangers, they're on standby to go at any moment.
Within a 48-hour period, you could have 300 people ready to go to work in 48 hours in one location.
Rangers like Derek Bowers keeping this area in check for more than 2 years.
We're going to check the edges of the fire to see if there's any smoke or any smoldering or any open flames.
It was only a few days ago more than 80 acres in this area of northern Manatee County was burned. Now Bowers is revisiting the site and other hot spots to make sure this section is secure.
What we usually do when we're walking the fire line here, if we see any smoking areas, we try to put it out by putting water on it. I had some smoldering activity, and actually, as you can see here, it's a little bit more. It's still smoldering just a bit.
And with an extended burn ban in effect for Manatee County, officials are now covering all bases, not only to protect property, but people living in the area as well.
If it were to continue to spread, then it would have definitely gotten really close to those houses and potentially caused some damage.
Bottom line, says Bowers, it's all about keeping areas like this successfully contained in all aspects.
We're coming back every single day to check it until we feel 100% confident that it's not going to spread any further.
I've already walked about a mile and a half in this area, which was pretty grueling. But these forest rangers sometimes have to walk 4 to 5 miles a day during this busy wildfire season.
We're on our feet for 8 to 9 hours walking up and down hills, and there's a lot of thick brush. So sometimes if you have to get further in there, you just kind of have to hold your breath and charge in.
He also stresses that residents should be aware of these dry conditions and do their part to prevent unwanted fires.
If you do any practice shooting or hunting in the area, refrain from doing that for the next couple of months.
Just recently, here in Babcock Ranch, located in eastern Charlotte County, the area going through a 250-acre brush fire caused by an illegal burn. But officials say it's drought that's typically one of the big drivers of fire activity.
From what we're looking at from the forecast, it's going to get worse. We're not going to get any rain until late June, early July. And with that, we're going to need a good amount of rain to be able to get us out of this drought.
And for residents living in rural areas like Babcock Ranch,
now would be a great time to clean off that roof, clean off that gutter. Make sure if you have pine trees, make sure those pine needles are away from your home.
Mahoney also noting that lightning strikes could heighten the dryness problem in that situation as well. Dwayne Lindo, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Dwayne, thank you. Florida officials say arsonists have ignited about 320 wildfires so far this year, burning more than 20,000 acres across the state.
Of course, it's important we all keep the fire danger down at our own properties. Anything, even the smallest little thing, can spark.
Yep, and the dry weather continues.
Right.
Today here on the Suncoast. Let's get more on that with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, thanks. A beautiful image here from our new satellite, GOES 16, showing what was going on yesterday. We talked about that fire up near Jacksonville in southeast Georgia. Look at the smoke plume on that one. That gives you indication of how big of a fire this one is as it fans out all across northeast Florida. Smoky conditions extending all the way down to near Daytona Beach with that particular fire, which is the Mims fire. And also we had some fires on into Hillsborough County. You can see some of the smoke trail and smoke plumes from those earlier in the day yesterday. So it's out there. It is a concern, and obviously a little sea breeze front has developed, but it's not really helping out as far as the dry conditions go. You can see this is a steady stream of just dry air following the jet stream right on into the Suncoast. We have this trough of low pressure, if you will, that has moved in and brought all this dry air. We have a west wind too, and the winds luckily have come down a little bit. They're anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour, but that drives the fires if they do develop too, so that's always a concern. The dew point temperature is what we look at, and that has come up. Over the weekend, it was very dry into the 30 to 40 percentile range there as far as the humidity goes. That's coming up a little bit better there. 82 degrees currently. We have a west-northwest at 16 wind, but that dew point temperature is a little lower, well inland, away from the sea breeze. Well, more in our forecast. There is a chance for some showers later on. Details on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a death after 2 people were pulled from the Gulf off of Casperson Beach. Venice fire officials say they received a distress call in Venice around noon. 2 people were on a raft, a man and a woman, about a quarter of a mile offshore. Fire officials say the 2 were snorkeling and free diving for shark's teeth off of Casperson Beach. Once they were rescued, efforts to revive the man were not successful. The woman was taken to Venice Regional Bayfront Health for treatment for shock.
Venice PD's boat was traveling south. I directed them to the raft in question. He actually made contact with them, first on scene, pulled the patient out, and the lady that was with the patient at the time.
The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office and Florida Fish and Wildlife are investigating. The victim, reportedly in his 40s, will be identified once his family is notified.
A high-profile triple murder case is now underway in Manatee County. Jury selection began today for Andres Avalos. He faces 3 counts of first-degree murder in the 2014 deaths of Amber Avalos, Denise Potter, and the Reverend James Tripp Battle. Investigators say he killed his wife, then her friend, and then traveled across town to kill her pastor. Prosecutors have said they plan to seek the death penalty if Avalos is convicted. Court records show Avalos' defense attorneys plan to claim insanity. The records also showed defense attorneys plan to call on doctors to testify that Avalos suffers from several mental health disorders. The trial is expected to last several weeks.
It's the last day of the legislative session in Tallahassee, and lawmakers are set to approve an $83 billion budget. ABC7's Kate Flexter is taking a look at what came out of this session, and she joins us with a preview. Kate.
Thanks, Haley. As quickly as it began, the legislative session is almost over with some major losses and some wins. The session began with tension, namely between Governor Rick Scott and House Speaker Richard Corcoran, who looked to cut funding for Enterprise Florida and Visit Florida. Several other top issues took center stage, including a debate over how to implement Florida's medical marijuana program, a new bill that will crack down on drug dealers, a series of controversial gun bills, just to name a few. Now it's all eyes on the budget.
We cannot get bogged down just worrying about one issue and forget all of the many accomplishments that we've had together this year.
Tonight on ABC7 at 7, we take a look at the top issues lawmakers faced this session. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kate. A brand new medical center is scheduled to open in the Newtown community of Sarasota in just a few months. And tonight, people who live in the area can learn more about the practice. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is building the 6,000 square foot outpatient facility near MLK Drive and Osprey Avenue. During the first community-wide meeting, residents can learn more about the doctors who will be staffing the practice and the services that will be available. The center is slated to open the first week of July, and SMH expects to care for around 2,000 patients in the first year.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, President Trump's executive action now being debated in federal court. What's next for the president's controversial travel ban?
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. And are you frustrated over those stubborn pounds? Coming up in Health Smart, what could be to blame for the extra weight?
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
The official salon of ABC7.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
A controversial sanctuary cities bill is now law in Texas.
Governor Greg Abbott signed the bill last night. It essentially banned sanctuary cities from the state and would penalize local governments and law enforcement that don't comply with immigration laws and detention requests. Abbott says the measure, which goes into effect in September, gets dangerous criminals off the streets. But critics say the new law encourages racial profiling.
A federal appeals court is now considering whether President Trump's revised travel ban is legal. 13 judges on the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is hearing the case. 2 of the court's 15 active judges have recused themselves. The Trump administration is appealing a Maryland judge's ruling blocking the revised ban from going into effect. The executive order would have barred people from 6 Muslim-majority nations from entering the U.S. for 90 days, as well as all refugees for 120 days.
Today has been an incredibly quiet day on Wall Street, and ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us to tell us a little bit more about that. Richard.
Well, Haley, I think the word volatility has left Wall Street. We used to complain about things being too volatile, but today, believe it or not, the biggest move in either direction was 0.03%. That means for every $1,000 worth of stock that you might own, your gain was $3. Yes, $3. The top to bottom range was 47 points. I don't know what people are waiting for. The election in France is over, but today was truly a non-event. Let's take a look at the numbers. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, there you see, was up by 5 points, and there you see the 0.03% at 21,012.28, that on volume of 641 million shares. For the day, the NASDAQ set a record. Look at that, up by less than 2 points, also up 0.03% at 6,102.66, that on volume of 1,509 million shares. And the S&P, believe it or not, that is a new record. Even though its percentage change is 0, it was up by 0.09%, 2,399.38. Well, those small moves were not the case in the handbag business today. You're familiar with the name Coach, I expect. Coach said it was buying a rival by the name of Kate Spade, and the price is $18.50 a share, or $2.4 billion. The goal is to appeal to a younger demographic. Coach believes that Kate Spade clearly does that, and they have several people that work for that very specific case, Selena Gomez among them. So we'll see exactly how it turns out, but for today, both stocks moved higher. Usually when something like this happens, the buyer's stock goes down, but for the day, shares of Coach were up by 5%, shares of Kate Spade were up by 8%. A winner all the way around.
Looks like it. Two good brands.
Yeah.
And speaking of good brands, Apple, some more good news for them today.
It just keeps on coming. Shares of Apple closed at still another all-time high, $153 a share, and the stock is worth now $800 billion. Many say on its worth to $1 trillion, but $800 billion is the value of Apple as of tonight's close.
Pretty amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Why didn't I buy Apple?
Money grows on a tree, right? That's what they say. Apple grows on trees, and apparently it's making a lot of money right there.
Yeah.
We are looking at beautiful weather today, a little bit windy over the weekend, you know, and we had some mild temperatures too. I enjoyed it. I was outside. Nice. Yeah, it was nice. A little bit warmer today, and that's going to be a trend, I think, through this week. Casey Key webcam showing beautiful beach weather. The winds and seas not nearly as strong as they were over the weekend. All the advisories have since expired, and don't anticipate any advisories throughout much of this week. It should be calm conditions out there. Weather headlines read like this: warming up a little bit after a pleasant weekend, and look for a dry work week, meaning no real threat of any significant rainfall at all right through Friday. And then there is a chance, though, for some rain over the weekend. Now, there's always a possibility, this is typically one of the driest months of the year, that we can see something tropical form. We're kind of hoping for a little tropical disturbance, if you will. That's a long-range forecast, but there's nothing around for the next week, and in fact, fact, the next 10 days, things stay relatively quiet. Current conditions read like this. Sarasota at 82 degrees, 83 in Bradenton right now. Venice at 77, right there at the end of the pier, so a little bit cooler at the Venice Pier. Temperatures tomorrow will warm up again into the mid to upper 80s, so here we go again. Temperatures are going to be a little bit above average on Tuesday, but then we'll cool down just a little bit. I think we'll get more of a sea breeze developing sooner on Wednesday, but high pressure keeping everything away from us. You'll see it. It's kind of just drifting across the east, all the clouds rotating around it in a clockwise fashion. So it's a dome of blocking any kind of weather system from entering into the weather picture anytime soon, right through Friday, and then a weak frontal system starts to move in on Saturday, bringing with it a slight chance for a few showers. So until then, things stay very dry here. The rest of the U.S., well, with that ridge of high pressure called the Omega Block, really, we're not looking for much change. There's some showers and cooler temperatures all the way down into Chicago and also into Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. They've had some pretty chilly weather for this time of year, and also into Colorado right now, some showers and storms there. Temperatures into the 50s in Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, and Toronto right now at 50 degrees there in Toronto. It's 53 in Boston. But on the backside of that high, temperatures really starting to warm up. 83 in Kansas City, 85 in Dallas now, and 68 in Denver, 75 in Albuquerque. Well, as far as the forecast goes, you'll see that cooler air kind of hanging throughout the Great Lakes and then moving off toward the northeast a little bit. And it starts to warm up across most of the southern plains and the southeast, too. You see those reds and oranges returning for Wednesday and into Thursday and Friday. Northwest winds for boaters, 5 to 10 knots, and seas running right around 2 feet and a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now 80 degrees, so it cooled off a little bit over the weekend. 84 for beaches for high tomorrow. Inland areas east of I-75 will see a high near 90. Low tide upcoming 7:16 for Sarasota Bay. Sunset 8:08. Sunrise will be at 6:45 tonight. Clear skies, mild conditions, mid-60s for lows, and northwest winds rather light at 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow I'll look for some sunshine, a few clouds in the afternoon. That'll be about it. High of 89 degrees inland, and the extended forecast does call for dry weather through Friday, and then a chance for a few showers over the weekend. It will turn breezy once again as that front gets close to us. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, I-75 moving smoothly, except for one stretch in the northbound lanes. This is right near Fruitville Road in Sarasota, but it clears up soon after Fruitville, so not too bad at this hour. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, teens who are depressed might not use that word to describe how they're feeling. Researchers at the University of Illinois conducting a study that found teens are more likely to say they are stressed or feeling down, or that they're mad at people and they don't know why. Parents should also watch out for if their teenagers don't seem to be interested in activities that they used to love, or if they're having trouble sleeping, or they're sleeping way too much. Teens in the study cited homework and pressure to succeed as some of the stressors, along with family issues. If you cannot seem to keep the weight off as you get older, even through diet and exercise, there could be something else to blame. Researchers have identified an enzyme that appears to increase its activity in animals as they age, because the new study was conducted in mice. Researchers don't know yet if blocking this enzyme in humans will have the same effect, but the findings could potentially lead to the development of new weight loss medications. The study was conducted by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Coming up, a double murder mystery in Boston. What investigators think could have happened to two doctors. Plus, a drive-through makeover. A customer crashes right into a McDonald's. Those stories right ahead.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell HOSPICE, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell HOSPICE, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
I heard about the Tidewell Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Tidewell Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
We now have some more information on some breaking news in Venice tonight.
A car reportedly went off the South Jetty just a little while ago. Police and rescue crews are on the scene, possibly looking for occupants of that vehicle. ABC7's Christopher Brantley is joining us live with more on what happened there. Christopher.
Good evening. So we can confirm at this time the chief of police for the city of Venice, Matt Mueller, did just confirm to me about 5 minutes ago that the police department, Marine Patrol Services are still looking for the vehicle that may have driven over this jetty. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office Air 1 helicopter, we're also told, is going to be dispatched out here to help begin to locate this vehicle. But I want to show you right here, this bench that you can see is moved. This is where that vehicle entered the water. Several witnesses told us it entered the water. It then crashed into the water and continued floating down the jetty all the way towards the Gulf of Mexico, which is just about in that direction. At this point in time, we do know that they are still searching for that vehicle and its occupants. We do not know the condition of them at this time, but the investigation is ongoing with a whole lot of first responders out here tonight. Scott and Haley.
Thank you, Christopher. Now to a developing story out of Boston, where investigators are trying to determine what led to the murder of 2 Boston area doctors.
The bodies of 49-year-old Dr. Richard Field and his fiancée, 38-year-old Dr. Lena Bolanos, were found in their $2 million penthouse apartment Friday night. Officers described the scene as graphic with blood everywhere. Their killer wrote a message of retribution on one of the walls and cut up photos of the 2 doctors. The suspected killer was arrested shortly after. They believe the victims were targeted.
Someone to come here, go up to the 11th floor to a penthouse. We got to believe that somehow there was some type of knowledge of each other here.
Bolanos was a pediatric anesthesiologist, and Field specialized in pain management.
We know fast food orders are supposed to be fast, but this driver was really in a hurry, apparently. A van drove through the side of a McDonald's in Springfield, Illinois, stopped right in the middle of the dining area. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the driver reportedly fled the scene. Police are now on the lookout for that person. How do you, I mean, you're probably going to be linked with your license plate if that's your car. So they're probably going to find that person.
Maybe they were embarrassed.
I could see that. But still to come on your Suncoast News, the best way to spend more than $6 million.
Manatee County explains what the BP oil spill money will go towards. That details straight ahead.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The LECOM School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the LECOM Dental Group practices 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
When you've been in banking for a long time, it's easy to forget what it was like in the beginning. It took a lot of work and dedication for 7 teachers to start our credit union and create a foundation that we continue to build on today. At Achieva, we never lose sight of the values that have defined us for over 75 years. We know you need mobile banking and lightning-fast solutions, but sometimes you might just need a helping hand. Any bank can make a transaction, but it takes a little more to make a difference. And that's good to know. Achieva, banking for good.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.